right, so as it's actually on your screen right there, how far so far, and we are back. Every day it keeps getting into, we keep getting into historical things that happen, and of course the events that happen in and around Africa actually. And I'll be delving into some historical events that took place away from Nigeria and some parts of the countries in Africa. Today we'll be looking at Uganda. Last week we talked about regions in South Africa. So gradually I would have to touch on some countries that I know that most people don't know the history and most people don't know the events. But yeah, let's look into Africa's history. Let's delve into it. Let's understand what these people are really all about, what they did, and some things and some wonderful events that happened in their country. How fast today in history? Yeah, so we'll go down on the timeline of how the events went and how the things that happened in Uganda. A chronological event or key events that happened in Uganda in 1500. Bito dynasties of Buganda, Biono Bonyoro and Akole, founded by Nilotic speaking immigrants from present day to southeastern Sudan. All right, so let's go into their influence, like the British influence in Uganda. In 1877, members of the British Missionary Society arrived in Buganda. Yes, I feel like this British people, like British colonies or British membership, they really had to touch some countries in Africa. And if you always come through with the when we were delving into some Nigerian history, we got a part where that talked about British, having to come to Nigeria, and of course some African countries. So Uganda was still part of the countries that the British had their missionary society in, right? So in 1879, the members of the French Roman Catholic were in British. So like 2 years after the British missionary society arrived in Buganda. Yes, 1879 they had the arrival of the French Roman Catholic White Fathers as well. And then in 1890, remember we're still dealing with the 80s, like in 1890, yes, Britain and Germany signed treaty giving British rights to what was to become in Uganda. All right, so Britain and Germany signed treaty giving British rights to what was to become in Uganda. So probably the Britain and then the Germany had this agreement to just talk to the British that actually arrived in the country, and then they told them some of the rights like they had in the country and what they ought to do. Perhaps partly because they're not citizens, or they're not citizens of the country. So it's actually advisable, it's nice that most times you tell citizens know their rights, or citizens 90. In 1892, Imperial British East Africa Company agent Frederick Lugard extends the company's control to southern Uganda and helps the Protestant missionaries to prevail over their Catholic counterparts in Buganda. Yeah, so Imperial British East Africa Company agent Frederick Lugard extends the company's control to southern Uganda and helps the Protestant missionary to prevail over their Catholic counterpart in Buganda. All right, so these are the British again. We're talking about the East Africa Company having something to do with Frederick Lugard to extend the company in control of the southern Uganda. Now this has to do with the southern Uganda, not entirely all the Ugandas. Yeah, so when they helped to protest and the Protestants missionaries to prevail over their Catholic counterparts in Buganda, right? So still this happened in 1892. Yes, 1892. And then in 1894, Uganda becomes a British protectorate. So they had to become a British protectorate in 1894, right? So in 1900, Britain signs agreements with Buganda, giving it autonomy and turning it into a constitutional monarchy, controlled mainly by Protestant chiefs. Yes, in 1900, the British signed agreements with Uganda, giving it an autonomy and then turning it into a constitutional monarchy controlled mainly by Protestant chiefs. In 1902, the eastern province of Uganda transferred at the British, the eastern province of Uganda transferred to the Kenya. Wow, interesting. So the eastern province of Uganda transferred to Kenya, and then in 1904, the commercial cultivation of cotton begins. Wow. When it comes to some natural things or natural resources that are being made, like in some countries, of course, when we talk about Nigeria, we're best known to be a country that has a whole lot of natural resources, and we're blessed with a lot of them. So now Uganda is part of them that have been recognized to be cultivating cotton, and this cultivation of cotton began in 1904. Yes, what you did not know is what I'm telling you right now about countries in Africa. Yes, so this happened in Uganda, 1904. There was a commercial cultivation of cotton. Yes, in 1921, Uganda was given an internal self-government. All right, so Uganda was given an internal self-government. Probably they had to start up their own government plans and their own government constitutions in 1958. And then in 1962, Uganda becomes independent. Yes, recall when we had the South African history, their independence also happened, I think, in 1960. Oh, yes. 1960 precisely. So here is Uganda's independence. Becomes independent with Milton Obote as prime minister, and then with Buganda enjoying considerably autonomy. Oh my goodness. So you see, 1962, Uganda gained its independence as himself president for life and claims part of Kenya. Wow, just look at that. This Idi Amin should be a very strong, should I say a strong person, or a strong name, or a strong man, or a strong, I think it depicts power, it depicts someone that really has power and authority, because if you see what's the events that took place in 1966 or 1976, I beg your pardon, they said the Idi Amin leader, Idi Amin declares himself president for life and claims part of Kenya. So this is not just one person trying to be a president of his own country, but claiming to be a leader and a president or in another part of Kenya. So I can imagine the whole power and authority that he had to be able to handle that or to do that. Right, in 1978, Uganda invades Tanzania with a view of annexing Kagera region. Uganda invades Tanzania with a view of annexing Kagera region. So this is how, it sounds really like a clash that really happened, because you recall I told you that in 1972 they had a clash, yes, with the Tanzania concerning border. So now they are back in 1978 still to invade Tanzania with a view of annexing Kagera region. So now I'm feeling like this Amin, or this Idi of Amin, it must have been a very tough or powerful president, having made himself or claimed himself to be the president in 1976, and then claiming some part of Kenya to be in charge of some part of Kenya. He still comes again in 1978 to invade Tanzania. With a view of annexing Kagera region. Kagera region could be could be a place or a region in Tanzania. All right, so let's still move on. It just keeps getting interesting and more dramatic, like the events that happened in Uganda. Every single country has its own event or had its own history, like things that really happened and the people that really made it an event and made it a history, So the Idi of Amin years is quite historical and had a whole lot of events to display there. All right, so in 1979, Tanzania invades Uganda, unifying the various anti-Amin forces under the Uganda National Liberation, forcing Amin to flee the country. Yusufu Lule installed as president, but is quickly replaced by Godfrey Binyasa. So after Tanzania invades All right, so I mean, it's quite a bit, should I say, twisted right here because I told you in 1979, Uganda invades Tanzania, and then Tanzania comes back in 1979 to invade Uganda, unifying the various anti-Amin forces under the Uganda National Liberation Front and forcing Amin to flee the country. Probably you're wondering like what all this like. I feel like it's more like a drama happening in a space of one person staying on. I'm talking about Idi Amin. Maybe you want to do your own findings and get to understand what Idi Amin really did or why it looks like there's so many events that are called. Maybe you could just do your personal findings about the Uganda's events. Yes, but you're right. We're still talking about the Idi Amin years in Uganda. How far so far they've come, and of course the historical things they did. I mean, and Idi Amin years really sparked up a whole lot of dramatic things, invading Tanzania, and then Tanzania coming back to invade them. Probably they just realized that, I mean, how can a country come to invade us and maybe claiming rights or maybe claiming to be in charge? So they had to come back to invade their own rights and probably stand by what they know or just be able to be defensive about the whole situation. And in that process, the country's president was changed and replaced by another person. He's called Godfrey Binasia. In 1980, we're still talking about the 90s and the 90s years in the Idi Amin in Uganda. In 1980, Binasia, that's a new president that was elected in Tanzania. In Uganda, in the space of Tanzania's runnings, was overthrown by the army. So after being elected, the following year, he was being removed. Militon Obote becomes the president after elections. In 1985, Obote deposed in military coup and is replaced by Tiko Okello. So they had different set of people or set of men that became the president, and they were replaced. I felt like they had this. Okay, yes, experience. They were being replaced. They had a new presidency, and then they had to replace some ones by the army and all that. So in I think this is the last events that took place in the Idi Amin years. 1986, National Resistance Army rebels. Rebels take Kampala and install Yoweri Museveni as president. National Resistance Army rebels take Kampala and install Yoweri Museveni as president in 1986. So we saw that there were a whole lot of people that were replaced or they were president, and then they were replaced after some years of running the tenure of being president or being in charge. They were replaced, and I felt like this actually happened when they notice or when they sense that maybe the president is not doing well, or maybe the person who is going to take over is somewhat better or somewhat will improve the country or bring the better change to the country, and then they had to replace him, because we've actually mentioned at least 4 or 5 presidents that were actually elected in the space of some years or some decades. Yes, so this is the history about Idi Amin years in Uganda, and this is a much we will take today on How Far So Far. It's been an interesting one, I must say, because I had to delve into some historical things about Uganda that I myself I didn't know about it, but right now I know. At least one thing I can even remember is the Idi Amin years, how one could actually have to invade some countries, invade some cities, take some positions, and somehow claiming the rights of other people, because probably they don't even know their rights, and we see it most times in our countries today. All right, so thank you so much for listening and for joining the program up from 9 a.m. till now. Of course, top of the hour is when we're going to have to end the morning Patriots. Remember, the media Patriots are coming up by 12 p.m. and you don't want to miss out on what programs and interesting gist and topics they have for you today right here on African Patriot Radio. My name is Josephine Paul. It's been a pleasure having you, and to everyone that dropped their comments and joined the stream, thank you so much. Until tomorrow, TGIF comes up. Please keep listening to African Patriot Radio, and please stay safe. Gracias.
your own. You don't need nobody stressing.
Yeah, I go blow. Every time they hear my sound, they come at me for more. Now the love I receive all true, they bring me tears of joy. Baba God, I beg you, oh, say you make my heart so pure. Oh, I change my story. Now my prayer every day, make you change my story. Let your blessings come my way, change my story. Now my prayer every day, make you change my story. Oh, I make you change my story. Every day we walk and pray, no darling. Them ask me when I go shine. Oh, Oluwa, every day we walk and pray, no darling. Them ask me when I go blow. Oh, Oluwa.
Man, I've been doing this shit for a long time. Been not too easy, sure you know that. Sharp money, my low bill. Money on my mind every minute. All of my life I've been working on it. Mama used to tell me I could make it. Oh Lord, I keep praying for the blessings. Will you watching my story today? From nothing up to something. I did pray for your blessings, yeah. For your blessings. Will you watching my story today? And my prayer every day. From nothing to something. I did pray for your blessings, yeah.
Every day we walk and pray, no darling. Them ask me when I go shine. Oh, Oluwa. Every day we walk and pray, no darling. Them ask me when I go blow. Oh, Oluwa, change my story today. Right now I dey hear my sound. Oluwa, change my story today. From nothing to something. Every day we walk and pray, no darling. Them ask me when I go shine. Oh, Oluwa. Every day and night, yeah. Them ask me when I go blow.
She move my day bed, don't need. Oh yeah, everybody get their own story. Oh. Yeah. Kira kita odola la yeah. If you're making that dough, you know me shalaye. Ozu go pay mo rakbalagba day. No one mamo body check out your shit. If you think it, you can make it. Enter studio and start to make it. Omo, I believe and then I made it. One name you liché and then I break it. Mo ma lowo mo ma kole mole níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Lowo mo ma kole mole níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Mo ma lowo mo ma kole mole níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Lowo mo ma kole mole níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Mama told me, boy, this life ain't no easy call. This life when I turn by turn, make it count, give it meaning call. I expect to check on my nije, Baba show me the way. Magic way. Authority LA me. Papa dakun jowo, dakun ba me. Let me the reason say this thing I no go far. Let me the reason I no get back. It show Oluwa know the reason I'm look at. See for your eyes, see my nigga I go blow pa. Mole níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Lówó lọ́wọ́ mo máa kọ́lé mọ́lé níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Mo máa lówó lọ́wọ́ mo máa kọ́lé mọ́lé níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda. Lówó lọ́wọ́ mo máa kọ́lé mọ́lé níwájú ẹlẹ́yà máa tún yan fanda.
I remain your extraordinary DJ Elegant. Let's go. Now soon, may all and all our prayers be answered. The vision is right. Let's go. Now soon.
Bad girl in other place, Queen A.
This sounds art amazing.
Raise the roof. Danny Ace for no mix, yo.
Oh, Danny Ace, the magic finger.
Hey, yo, Caribbean. Tell me no shoot back, me no rebound. But the looking at your eye be like you Egyptian. Yelling like your style, she a swim for your ocean. Backside big like a bumper. Mind smell bright like a Santa. She no do no silly cat. Be your silly boy. She fi do the dirty wine. Man down, gunshot for your area. Boom, 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 gunshot in the area. Bend the drip on the back, she a tempter. Pour some ice, galley hot like a boiler. She a controller. She no DJ, but she fi a control ya. AI girl with the A1 sound coming through blazing. Them a color girl trailblazer. Whoosh, she a fight for her tune. Them a color fudge you. Tell them man I color fudge you. Tell them man I color fudge you.
We just wanna let them know. We just wanna let them know. We just wanna let them know who I be. We just wanna let them know. We just wanna let them know. We just wanna let them know who I be. I'll strike like a thunder. Just for your wife, see no blunder. See me I fight for your matter. Me the ganja as a lighter. Girl strike like a thunder, just for your wine, see no blunder. See me I fight for your matter, me the ganja as a lighter. Me casa su casa, whenever he call me, catch you guys later. So what on the beat and F up your speakers. No apologies, I life up your stickers. What you wanna do, but massa vodka. Either way I whoop ya, come ask me later. So come ask me later. London girl, South Greek, got you feel the lockdown mood. Good book crit, on the rhythm savage mood. Good book brick, telling me a showstopper. Look good, B. Nina London girl, South Greek, got you feel the lockdown mood. Good book crit, on the rhythm savage mood. Good book brick, telling me the showstopper. Look good, B. We just wanna let them know. We just wanna let them know. We just wanna let them know. Them know. We just wanna let them know. I girl strike like a thunder. Just for your wine, see no blunder. See me I fight for your matter. Me the ganja as a lighter. That girl strike like a thunder. Just for your wine, see no blunder. See me I fight for your matter. Me the ganja as a lighter.
Good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, Nigeria. Good afternoon, Abuja. How are you doing today? You having a great time yet? I mean, it is Thursday, yes. The 17th day of the month of September 2020. I feel like this month is actually running. But hey, the whole year has been running, right? You agree with me? Well, if you're just tuned in, this is your number one radio station, African Patriots Radio. And I would say you're late because you missed the morning Patriots. You missed them, and I must tell you missed a lot. I mean, I for one actually enjoyed like the very first segment of it like a lot because it brought back memories. And speaking of memories, it is Thursday, and in the spirit of Throwback Thursday, you know, TBT and all, we're gonna be doing a lot of throwbacks today, a whole lot of it. Well, remember, you can be part of everything that we do here. All you have to do is follow us across all social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube at African Patriots Radio. And don't forget, when you subscribe on YouTube, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get a notification whenever something's happening here. We're also on Twitter at African Patriots 7. And guess what? You've been asking, and we've brought it. We're on Instagram as well at African Patriots 7. See? So you can actually connect with us on all platforms. Well, basically every platform. We're there to actually serve you. My name is Ekanem. Or you can just call me M for short. I mean, that's what my friends call me, and I want to believe we're friends. or you can just call me. Go ahead and call me your favorite girl, because I know I am. I'm going to be keeping you company from now up until the hour of 3 p.m. It's going to be an amazing 3 hours right here in African Patriots Radio. So, buckle your seatbelts, sit back, relax, because we're going to have fun. First off, in the first hour of this program, actually on this belt, the midday belt, I'm actually going to be bringing you that segment I like to call News in the Middle, which will be followed shortly by Fashion the Freak. That's when we talk fashion and all. Yes. And Information African News will be coming up at exactly 1 p.m. And coming up later, I'll be bringing you the Throwback Show. And when I'm talking about throwback, it's going to be a scary throwback in a way though. But trust me, you're going to have fun and you are going to enjoy it. And then on the last hour, like I always say, this is where we have, proper conversations. I'm talking about this segment called the Midday Convos. We're going to have proper conversations there. You know how we do. And you can feel free to send a shout out to whoever you want to send a shout out to as well on that particular segment. Feel free to start dropping them from now. I'm just going to read it out on that particular segment. Okay, I'll be giving the question of the day for the Midday Converse, so just stay glued to African Patriot Radio because you don't want to miss that. I told you it's gonna be a throwback thing today. It is Thursday, but first, let's jump into the music, and I'll be giving you news in the middle as it drops. Do not go anywhere. I'm still your girl M here on African Patriot Radio.
And the wire, but bang 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 say, now realize, girl you're good and very very nice, very very nice. On top of your matter, oh, I personalize, girl our future, I don't visualize, girl. See, I be thinking about you, girl, every day and night, and the lovely things you do, they control my mind, girl. Oh yeah, baby, give me good loving, 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 You the champagne me. For the lovely things you do, you the champagne me. But I can never let you go, baby, champagne me. For the lovely things you do, you the champagne me. And I'll never let you go. Imani bakala me, see you making me.
Heidi, this is still the news in the middle. So first news I'll actually be dropping for you today is all your horse to it, visa restrictions, ban, and all of that. Yesterday, yes, I gave you the news about the US actually placing a ban on certain people, certain Nigerians, certain group of Nigerians. Yes, a visa ban. We placed a visa ban on them. But now the thing is, according to them, they said this was because they value and respect the Nigeria's democratic system, our democratic process. Now they feel like anyone who undermines this, or they have said they're actually giving like a visa ban on anyone who actually undermines this democratic process. Now, in the spirit of banning and all of that, visa restrictions and all, a petition has actually been put out. Now, a petition has been put out to ban Nasir El-Rufai, the very same one That petition has been put out. Now, the petition actually emanated from Reno Omokri, that is who is the former special assistant on news media to the former president Goodluck Jonathan. Now, this petition actually emanated from him, like I said, and he's actually put it out there. Before I actually go on, we actually got like along the line, a counter petition to this particular petition from Reno Omokri. We got a counter petition asking the European Union and the United Kingdom to disregard calls to place travel ban on the Kaduna State Governor, that is Nasir El-Rufai. Now the thing is, okay, this new petition was actually to counter the one, like I said, was actually to counter the one put in place or set up by a mockery. Now, this counter petition has actually come out. This petition was actually started by Hassan Halilu. This one actually came out to say, that the UN and the UK and the EU should actually disregard this petition. But guess what? People are not listening, because Omakri's petition that he put out at least I'm talking Tuesday this morning, we're talking like as a few minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. About 20,491 people have already signed this petition asking the European Union, that's the EU, and the United Kingdom to place a travel ban on the Kaduna State governor. Now, they've actually given like certain, a lot of people have come out, people that have signed this petition have actually given like different reasons why they feel like this ban should actually be put on him. Now, this petition actually kicked off on Wednesday. It kicked off on Wednesday, and as at yesterday, we had over 10,000. And like I told you, yesterday we had over 10,000. And as at this morning, we now have, as at this morning, as at 9 past. Few minutes past the hour of 9 a.m., we had over 20,000 people. People actually, jumping on this bandwagon. People actually jumping on this drug. They want to know, they want to be sure that this petition they're putting out there is actually enforced. Now, some of the reasons that were actually given was that El Rufai is allegedly promoting genocide, religious and political intolerance. According to them, that's what they said. Now, in a statement by Omokri, he actually said Nasir El Rufai is a threat to the peace and security of Nigeria for many reasons, chief of which are that on December 3rd, 2016, he admitted that he paid killer headsmen who killed Nigerian citizens because they were of the same ethnicity as him. Now, what do you feel about this story? What do you feel about this petition put out by Reno Omokri? What do you feel about it? You can tell me what you think about it. All you have to do is leave me a comment across our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube at African Patriots Radio. Hey, do you think it's actually going far with this? Or do you feel like you would actually want to jump on this bandwagon and also sign this petition? Let me know what your thoughts are, though. Send me a comment, drop a comment, Facebook, YouTube at African Patriot Radio, and I'll be very, very glad to hear from you. Well, for now, let's jump back into the music.
And if I be a slow starter, for you I run over. Hey, 7 months before your birthday, I put my reminder. Hey, this how I love me, it go last you forever. Oh, and I will hold you tight and I will treat you right. Even for that, baby, I go be your light. Cause we will never fight, now I realize. Say now only you, baby, now you there, my man. Yeah, now. This must be love, baby, I can feel it. Oh yeah. And I know, baby, I can see it. Oh yeah, baby, give me good loving. Good loving. 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 You the champagne. For the lovely things you do. You the champagne me. But I can never let you go. Baby, champagne, baby. For the lovely things you do. You the champagne, baby. And I'll never let you go. And I will hold you tight and I will treat you right. Even for that, baby, I go be your life. Cause we will never fight, now I realize. Say now only you, baby, now you there, my man. Yeah, this must be love, baby, I can feel it. Oh yeah. And I know, baby, I can see it. Oh yeah, baby, give me good loving. Good loving. 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 Oh no.
well, I'm still your girl, and it's always I always drop the news. Give it the news as it's hot, as it's dropping. You understand? Like my Nigerian brothers and sisters, like we like to say, as it is hot. You understand? Well, that's what I do for you. Now, on to the next news that just dropped. This is actually quite sad because we're actually talking about a minor here. Now, it is not. I know a lot of us have actually heard about the news of what happened about it's somewhere in the northern Nigeria where a singer was actually sentenced to death. Pardon me. Where a singer was sentenced to death by the Sharia court. Now, for some people it came as a shock, and for some others it was just plain wrong. And people have come out to give their opinions about this. A lot of people have actually, condemned it in a way. Now, the UNICEF has actually tackled Kano over a jail time it gave to a 13-year-old for blasphemy. Now, the UNICEF has come out to express their deep concern over the jailing of a 13-year-old, like I said, a 13-year-old boy by the Sharia court in Kano. Now, the boy identified as Omar Farouk. Omar Farouk was sentenced to 10 years in jail by the same court, like I said, that sentenced to death the singer I talked about before, the person of Yahaya Sharif Aminu, for the same offense. Now, both of them committed the same offense, but this boy is a minor. This boy is 13 years old. He's 13 years old, pardon me. He's a 13-year-old boy. Now, the boy's case only came up. His case actually came to light when, like, a couple of lawyers tried to intervene and help him, trying to get him freed, but they were actually denied access to him. Now, UNICEF has actually asked that the sentence be reversed immediately. According to the UNICEF representative in Nigeria, the person of Peter Hawkins, in an appeal to both Kano and the federal government, he said the sentencing of this child, 13-year-old Omar Farouk, to 10 years in prison with menial labor is wrong. He went further to say it also negates all core underlying principles of child rights and child justice that Nigeria, and by implication Kano State, has signed onto. Now, Hawkins also said that the sentencing of this 13-year-old child, Omar Farouk, to 10 years in prison with menial labor is wrong. Like I said, he expressly said it is wrong. And let's come to think of it, if the country as a whole has actually signed on to certain principles of child rights and child justice, if you actually signed onto it, now let's look at it. Kano is a state in Nigeria, so this means that these principles actually cover every state in Nigeria, covers Nigeria as an entity entirely. And this actually includes Kano being a state in Nigeria. Now, Hawkins actually went forward to say this sentence is in contravention of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which Nigeria ratified in 1991. It is also a violation of the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, which Nigeria ratified in 2001, and the Nigeria's Child Rights Act of 2003, which domesticates Nigeria's international obligations to protect children's rights to life, survival, and development. Now, this is another issue on ground. I know how a lot of people came out for Yahaya Sharif when he was actually sentenced to death by the Sharia court. Now, this is a minor. This is a 13-year-old boy being sentenced to 10 years in jail for the same crime of blasphemy by the same Sharia court. Now, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. I want to know what you feel, how you feel about this. You tell me, like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think this laws that actually laws that actually go this far to prove a point should be abolished. What do you feel about this? Leave me a comment, Facebook and YouTube at African Patriots Radio, and I'll be glad to hear from you here on African Patriot Radio. I'm still your girl, and I still have just one more news for sports lovers. Don't go anywhere, okay?
The best of magic.
Cute chubby boy, something motivated me there. Oh my kindle, oh yeah, give them the vibe, oh yeah, give them the ginger. Never blame a man for the choice he's making, baby. Yeah. Before you do for streets, up say I'm a man ain't badu. Before you flex them girls, up say I'm a man ain't badu. Before you do for streets, up say I'm a man ain't badu. Before you flex them girls, up say I'm a man ain't badu. See the life that we live in, all they really cares what you bring in. Too many runs got me writing. If I know they sleep, man, I'm vibing. You know. See the life that we live in. All they really cares what you bring in. Too many runs got me writing. If I know they sleep, man, I'm vibing. You know. See my mom is my legend, though. Every night and day she taught me patience, though. See, oh, blood you head down my knee. Say now, oh, blood you head down my knee. Yeah, say, Moti don't me see what you. To see. Don't judge me, brother, cause you know there for me, you know there for me, yeah. Don't judge me, brother, cause you know there for me, you know there for me. Meji, longi, jo, tango. Say, tango, where you want go? Anywhere you go, girl, I really want go. Tango, where you want go? Anywhere you go, girl, I really want go. Tango, anywhere you go, girl, I really want go.
On your favorite radio station on the Netwave, African Patriots Radio. All right, so one last news I got here. This, like I said, it is for my sports lovers. I'm talking soccer, football. If you're a football fan like I am, I mean, you got to hear this news, right? So now, I actually stumbled upon this one now. It looks like Everton is actually, okay, not looks like. Everton has actually put Alex Iwobi up for sale. Okay. I know how that sounds. I probably said it like they're, hawking him and all, but no. But yes, Everton has put Alex Iwobi up put him for sale. Now, Everton is actually, they've said that they're considering offers for the Nigerian international, that's Alex Iwobi, and several other players before the October deadline, transfer deadline closes. Now, some of the players that have been looking at, that Everton has been looking at to sell, or should I say, players on the chopping block. So some of the players on the chopping block are ex-Arsenal player Theo Walcott and ex-Juventus player Moise Kean. Now, Carlo Ancelotti, that's the coach of Everton right now, he has actually made a plan, and according to him, like I said, he has some of these players that he has actually put out for sale. Now, something like I said, some people would say, okay, they are actually on the chopping block, they what, but hey, they're off for sale, yeah. Some other club could actually buy them and they'll go on to do greater and better things elsewhere. But the thing is, he has a plan. Whatever the plan is, it involves selling off these players. Now, come to think of it, this actually probably explains why Alex Iwobi wasn't on the team. He actually wasn't on the team that played on Sunday. He wasn't even on the bench for Everton's game on Sunday when they met Tottenham on Sunday. But at least, well, regardless, they actually won the match. That's their first match day one game. They won the game against Tottenham on Sunday, 1-0. But we didn't see Iwobi anywhere around. We didn't even see him on the bench. But for whatever reason, now we understand. Probably this is the reason. They put him up on sale, and that's probably the reason we did not see him during the game on Sunday. Well, I can only wish all of these players the best moving forward, wherever they find themselves again in the future. I can only wish them the best and hope that whatever their goals are, they actually achieve them regardless of which club they play for. Well, this is actually where we end the news in the middle for now. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be delving into the world of fashion. Like I said, world of fashion.
Do my own brothers. Baby, I hope you know. Boy, they come from the back. They come from the back. Ah, see, them they find my number now. Kilo the baby. Before you do for street, up say your mama they badu. Before you flex them girls, up say your papa they badu. Before you do for street, up say your mama they badu. Before you flex them girls, up say your papa they badu. See the life that we living, all they really cares what you bring in. Too many runs got me writing. If I know they sleep, man, I'm fighting. See the life that we living, all they really cares what you bring in. Too many songs got me writing. If I know they sleep, man, I'm vibing. See my mom is my legend. Every night and day she taught me patience. Load you head down, my knee. Load you head down, my knee. Criminal Jackie Jaemi, Emi Ganga money Miami. Criminal Jackie Jaemi, Emi Ganga money Miami. I like how I just say, hustle every day, go to life.
Cars, you got it. House, you got it. Shoes, you got it. Looks, you got it. Sexy body. Flex on anybody. It's all for you. Cars, you got it. House, you got it. Shoes, you got it. Looks, you got it. Sexy body. Flex on anybody. It's all for you. Cars, you got it. House, you got it. Shoes, you got it. Double pro.
I beg you carry shoulder up, oh baby. I beg you show them this younger, oh baby. Dance some break all of your waist, oh baby. Until they allow it to, oh baby. Oh, I beg you carry shoulder up, oh baby. I beg you show them this younger, oh baby. Dance some break all of your waist, oh baby. Oh baby. Oh, I beg you do me je. Corona magbese. I beg you to be je. Corona magbese. Have you thought about my proposal and the life I want for you? I beg you, baby, make you come closer when I'm singing this song for you. This love song got me stay up all night, cause I'm tryna compose for you. The last time that you say you want go, girl, you broke my heart into two. Just call me baby, I'll call you boo. You want me so bad, I want you too. My number is 08042. I'm only one call away from you. I beg you to be je. Colora my best Gonna go fit to get to big bago, but no be down with the drum logo. If your loving we go make me psycho. From Kampala to Okokomaiko. I'm just with the bamboo. Canadian girl fi big the card. If your loving we go to the train. Oh, anytime I sing, go she not to do for business. And you be a minado. Now you the rise my temperature go. San Francisco. I sing you dope like Jimmy Judd.
Before you flex them girls.
Alright, welcome back. This is still your number one radio station, African Patriots Radio. My name is still M, and I told you we're going to be delving into the world of fashion now. Well, first up, in the spirit of throwbacks, I decided to do this one. Now, we're actually going to go back, do a little recap on what we talked about on Tuesday, because, like I said, I didn't finish giving you all of the mistakes I see guys make these days. So I thought, hey, why don't I just do, a recap, throw it back, and then just continue? I mean, I think that's fair enough. Alrighty, so today I'm going to be, first off, like I said, I'll be giving you a recap of some of the things I mentioned. Remember, I said that for guys, for a guy, or for a man, okay, let me say for a man now. For a man, details are very important. Now, I'm saying for a man because I'm focusing more on the men today. I'm focusing more on the men. It doesn't mean details don't matter for the ladies. Details are actually very important when it comes to fashion. Now, back to what I was saying. For a man, details are very important. Details are everything. Details are what make or break an outfit for you. I'll take that again. I said details for a man are what make or break an outfit for you. Like, I'm talking the entire outfit. Now, I remember on Tuesday I actually gave you, I started listing some mistakes that I see men make, and then I said, and I'm going to say again, it is fashion, and it is fashion which is like the umbrella that covers everything. And then we have trends, which refers to, let's say, styles, or not styles, but I mean just to like different clothing or different shoes that designers have actually put out there, things that actually invoke, things that actually, should I say, raining now, on the present. Now there's that, and then when it comes to your style has to do with you, your person, your individuality, how you express that. You show all of that in your style. Now, I said before that I'm all for embracing yourself. I'm all for embracing your individuality. I'm all for embracing your style. But you got to do it right if you have to do it. And like I said, if you're going to look stylish, if you're going to look attractive, I told you, ladies, we like guys that look, well-groomed. If you're going to look stylish and attractive, then you need to pay attention to even the smallest, tiniest details. You need to pay attention to that. You need to pay attention to mistakes as well. Mistakes that your fellow men make that didn't say right. Exactly. So let's get on to the recap that I talked about. So first off, we started off with t-shirts. Now, t-shirts, I talked about branded t-shirts. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't wear brands, but I told you something on Tuesday that you don't have to wear a t-shirt that is heavily branded. By heavily branded, I mean we can watch like a full movie on your shirt, or we can tell like a full, like there's no space for someone to even point at you. That kind of thing. That's the kind of brand I'm talking about. Now, you don't have to wear like a t-shirt that's fully or heavily branded. Let me put it that way. Now, I said something on Tuesday when I said that a person who has an eye for fashion would always notice and appreciate when you wear a fashionable piece. Now, they don't need labels, they don't need brands to actually tell them that this is original, this is the thing, the real thing. They don't need that. So try as much as possible to avoid heavily branded t-shirts, which is what I see a lot of guys actually still wear these days. Now, secondly, another thing I mentioned on Tuesday was that it was the fact that I see a lot of guys wearing ill trousers, ill-fitted suit pants, and all of that. Now, like I said, whether it's a jean you're wearing or a stylish suit pants, it has to fit right. It really, really has to fit right. I mean, what's the point of buying a pair of trousers, a pair of jeans when if it doesn't fit you? And I remember saying that maybe some of these people actually just haven't gotten over the thing that our African parents used to tell us, when they buy us clothes that are like way, way bigger than us, and then they'll be like, you grow into it. Maybe some of them haven't gotten over that ideology. So sometimes you go ahead and buy stuff that are way, way bigger than they are, like two sizes 2 sizes over. It's just wrong. And I remember sharing with you that I met someone once who had who had this idea that some made your legs look thinner or made your legs look smaller. But I told you they don't do that. On the contrary, they make you look more down to earth and they make your legs look saggy. If not anything, they make your legs look saggy. So let's try as much as possible to avoid ill-fitting trousers. Now, the next thing I talked about had to do with your undershirt. Now, when you wear a shirt, be it a white shirt or a black shirt or whatever color, actually, you wear a button-down shirt, we shouldn't see your undershirt. You know, when they call it an undershirt, it's supposed to be under. We're not supposed to see it. So now I see a lot of guys wear button-down shirts and we can see the inner wear, their undershirt through it. That shouldn't be so. It's like it's just like I still gave this example on Tuesday. It's just like a lady, like I said, putting on a bra or tights, and then we can actually see it outside of her shirt. And I'm not saying because the shirt is transparent, but because there's the space for us to see it. It's an undergarment. It's supposed to be under. We're not supposed to see it. But now, if you really wish to unbutton your shirt, if you really wish to, you want to show skin, you want to show your chest, try to go for maybe V-necked undershirt. That way, when you open your buttons, we don't get to see the undershirt. It falls in line with the V or the opening that your shirt creates. Now, another mistake that I mentioned, and I remember saying it the other day, that some people are going to come for me, and someone actually came for me on this one. Someone actually came for me on this one. When I talked about accessorizing, and I said, most times I see a lot of guys, they accessorize way too much. Now, by accessories, I'm talking jewelry now. Let me talk your wristwatches, the wrist beads you wear, wristbands, and all of that. I told you. I mean, I stumbled upon a guy the other day, and I was wondering if he was going for like village council meeting, or if he was probably just wearing these beads to sell. Maybe in case you stumble upon anybody, hey, do you want to buy? I sell this. It was too much, like too much. And I'm like, Papa, how far now? Calm down. You need to relax on these things. You understand? Just try to tone it down, like tone it down way too much. You could do one or two on one hand, and then where you have your wristwatch on the other hand. I mean, that works. But not when you carry like 10 of it in one hand. Like, what exactly is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Seriously, what are you trying to achieve? Now, I said something the other day, a saying from one of my favorite designers, and the saying goes thus: like, before you leave the house, stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself, and ask yourself, just look at yourself, assess your dressing, and make sure you take one thing off your body before you leave. I'm talking one thing off your body, I mean, for what you're wearing. So look at yourself. What is it that I'm doing too much? What is it that I have worn too much? Ask yourself that question and make sure to take. The next mistake I actually remember mentioning was the one where I see guys wear sandals and wear socks with it. As in, you have a pair of sandals, you're wearing it, and you're wearing a pair of socks with it, and I'm like, what is the aim? I know they made us do that in secondary school. Those secondary schools that you went to, they made us do that. You wore your sandals, you wore socks, but then it was school. It was part of the uniform. So what I don't understand is, are you trying to get that feeling you had when you were still in secondary school? Maybe you enjoyed it way too much. I mean, I'm all for a pair of sandals. You want to look smart. They're very amazing pieces, amazing pairs. Actually, you can always rock on your outfit, especially maybe if you're doing shorts and you just want to have a pair of sandals on. I mean, you could do that. I'm all for it. I mean, express yourself, but don't go as far as wearing a pair of socks with a. It just doesn't go well. You might disagree with me, but hey, that's what this platform is for. Leave me a comment if you disagree with me. Leave me a comment. Now, a lot of us, like I for one, actually thought that this trend would have actually died by now. See, when I mentioned this is what we used to do in secondary school, I thought it would have actually died by now, but people are still doing it. I'm talking, I think about 2 weeks ago or so, I saw someone do the same thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pardon you. Probably it's cold, but if it was cold, you'd have just put on like a pair of shoes with it, pair of sneakers, that would have gone so well. And if you don't want to show your feet, if you feel you get cold easily, then put on a pair of shoes. That's a better alternative. And okay, last but not the least, it's actually not the last though, but the last thing I mentioned on Tuesday had to do with colors. Like, you wear too many colors, you wear all the colors at once. Like, when you're not trying to be Santa, even Santa has like few colors on, it just does red and white. But when you're not trying to be the rainbow, hey, let me put it that way, you're not trying to be the rainbow, like, and then somebody will be like, no, I want to be the rainbow in your storm, or after your storm. Please don't do that. All right, now, you may be a colorful person, like I said, you may be a colorful person, and I said, feel free to express yourself with your style. And then you say, okay, this is my style, this is how I want to express it. You just need to be able to tone it down a bit, tone it down. You don't have to wear all the colors at once. Now, you say you're colorful, just make sure not to do it too much. I mean, I said before, imagine someone wearing yellow pants with a pink shirt with a red blazer, or blue shoes, or green shoes, or orange shoes. Do you understand how these colors look? Now, they're shouty colors, they're flashy, and you feel it's supposed to put you out there. It will put you out there, and people will look at you and push you away into the bin, because it's just too flashy. Now, that is actually a lot to take in. It's very distracting. So we're still trying to take in the yellow pants you're wearing, and then, hey, we're looking up there, we're seeing pink shirts, and we're like, what else you got? And then there's the green shoe, or there's the red blazer, or the orange blazer, and it's just a lot to take in all at once. You need to try as much as possible to be minimal. Yeah, turn it down a bit. That's it. Now, like I said before, wearing bright colors generally are very. I won't really advise that. Very advisable if you want to look sharp. Now, if you want to look sharp, I'd advise you go for more solid colors, basic colors, strong colors. Now, those colors will actually make you look sharp. They'll actually make you pop if you must. Now, you could do solid colors, and if you want to spice it up a bit and you feel like you're a colorful person, feel free to do with some fun looking pair of socks. You could do colorful socks. That actually works, as long as it matches your outfit. That's fine. Express your color with your socks. All right, now let's move on. Now, another thing I did not mention on Tuesday, another mistake I see a lot of guys make, a lot of men make when they dress, is when it comes to the choice of shoes they wear. Now, we've seen people put on suits and put on sneakers with it. I think me saying sneakers actually makes it sound too nice. They put on suit and put on running shoes with their suits, and you're wondering, like, now they've seen some people pull it up. Like I always say, if you know you can't pull it up, then don't do it. They've seen some people pull it up. Some people probably want, like, nice pair of sneakers, they want suits with it, and it came out good. And then you go ahead and wear running shoes with this. Just, even if you're a sneakerhead, try as much as possible to have an alternative. And by alternative, I mean, try as much as possible to have a pair of dress shoes. Because you don't want to show up to that black tie event or something wearing a pair of sneakers or a pair of running shoes. Let me put it that way. That's why I'm actually going to drop that one. Tell me whether or not you agree with me, but I just want to hear from you. Now, on to the next mistake. The next mistake I see some guys still make is this. Now, you're wearing a pair of shirts. You're wearing a normal t-shirt. That's supposed to be a casual look. And then I see guys tuck the t-shirt in their jeans. I see them tuck the t-shirt in their jeans, and I'm like, I thought you were going for the casual. But you're trying to go for the casual look, and you're tucking your t-shirt into your pants. Hey, and some of them actually go as far as tucking into sweatpants. Yes, that happens. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't make you look cool at all. It doesn't make you look cool. On the contrary, it actually makes you look like a middle-aged man. even when you're not up to that. And even middle-aged men, I won't even advise that as well. But just try as much as possible to leave your t-shirts untucked, because tucking it would actually rumple it and make it look all crinkly. Yeah, I could actually do that. Now if you're wearing sweatpants, make sure that when you untuck your shirt, that's the untucked shirt, if you're wearing sweatpants, make sure it actually covers the strings from the pants, the sweatpants you're wearing. That's the best way to actually do that. Now there's but I always say there's an exception to every rule. And for this particular one, it is tucking in the undershirt one wears with a dress shirt. Now somebody would actually hear me now and say, okay, she said don't tuck in your undershirt, and then you wear a dress shirt, like a button down shirt, and you just decide to fly it, just let it fly. If you're going to wear that as an undershirt and you have a dress shirt over it, then you can tuck that one in. But if you're wearing that on its own, do not tuck it in, please. I said please at the end, so I really hope you adhere to that particular one. Now last but not the least, this has to do with your tie. Now when you put on a tie, you put on a shirt, like a button down shirt, that you have to wear a tie and with a suit. Now one mistake I actually see a lot of guys do is that they don't understand that they have to wear ties according to their body shape. So now what I notice is that a lot of people put on ties that are not compatible with their body type, their body shape. Now here's what I mean. Now if you're a slim and slender person, you should do more of the slim and tender ties. I'm talking slim ties, according to your body shape, your body type. But if you're on the big side and you're going to do these, then you can do well with ties that are a bit bigger. Now, okay, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a very big person, someone on the big side, wearing a tie, a very slim tie. It's like the tie is going to be lost in the person's body. Do you get what I mean? Now, and a very slim person wearing a very big tie, now it almost looks like that's actually going to be very distracting, because it looks like the tie is almost competing. The tie is competing for the attention of the people with you as the person. So now remember that you have to pick your ties according to your body type and your body shape. Generally your a tie should be 3 inches to 3.75 inches for an average sized man. So if your body type is thinner than the average man, this is something you need to look out for. Well, these are some of the mistakes that I have seen a lot of guys, a lot of men make lately. Some of the mistakes I have seen. What are your thoughts on this?